I'm back and I'm here to show you guys how to do the scarf. I still have my knitting needles the same size. I have my yarn, the same yarn we were using to do the hat. And this is on another skein. So you will need another skein of yarn to complete this scarf. And we've already figured out what our how many stitches we need to make an inch and how many rows we need to make the inch. If you haven't or don't even know what I'm talking about, you might want to go to the swatch video, because the swatch video will show you how we got to that result, and it will also show you the two stitches that we're going to be using, which is the knit stitch and the purl stitch. And we're also going to create a pattern for our scarf. And so right now we're going to go ahead and take our sorry. When we did our swatch, we figured it was going to be 4 stitches across and 6 rows to create 1 inch. Now for this, for the scarf, we are going to go for 6 inches wide and 60 inches long in length. Okay, so that's 24. So 4 times 6, which is the 6 inches, is what we need. So 4 times 6 is 24. So we're going to need 24 stitches to do the width of our scarf. And then the rows are going to be, we're just going to go eyeballing them all the way up, unless you want to do the 60, the 60 inches with the 6 rows. I mean, that's what, 360? I mean, that's a lot of rows. So that's basically what we're going to shoot and aim for. But it's much easier just to go ahead and use your tape measure to get to the 60 inches. You don't need to count 360 rows. It's just too much. Okay? So we're trying to do it the easy way. We don't want to have to count 360 rows. So basically we're going to start with our circular needle. Now this, we don't need to do it in the round, is what they call. We're not doing it in the round like we did the hat. We're just going to do it the front and the back, front and back. And we'll go ahead and start with our cast on. We've got to figure out where we're going to put our slip stitch and how to do that. We're just going to wrap 24 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to turn our needle, grab the yarn, and we're going to create our slip knot. So we're going to grab the yarn, go under the yarn, grab it, twist it, pull that yarn through, and we have created our slip knot. So we'll just put that on the needle and get rid of the rest. Okay, pull that off. There you go. And we have our tail in right here. Okay, we're also going to put the other needle through here as well. And this is to create it to be loose. Makes it so much easier when you're first starting that first row. Oh, such a pain. So we're going to put our needle through. Make sure that our tail is toward us. Okay, it's just a good habit to get in there. Make sure that tail is towards you and the other one is to the back. So again, we're going to start with putting our thumb and kind of making like a little gun. We're going to cast on 24 stitches. Holding those needles together while we're casting on, counting by 5s. So that's 5. Oops. got both of my needles that time. Put that one down a little bit. There you go. Let's push that back. That was 3, 4, 5. I got 2 now. So that's 3, 4, 5. Okay, that makes 10. $15. 20. And then we'll do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to take one of these out, just like that. It just slipped right out. And we're going to begin our pattern like this, because we want to be able to do like we're going to be knitting, and then we're going to be doing these little pearls in between, and then a row of pearls to kind of do like a checkerboard, but it's only going to be using the purl stitch as a puffer for the pattern. And you'll see exactly how it goes. You'll see it as I'm doing it. So we're going to go ahead and get the set stitch, which is putting the pattern on the first time. So I call it a set row. And I'm going to be knitting, or let's see. Yeah, we're going to be knitting. If I can do that, say 24. Let's see, we got 24 stitches to work with, and we want to be able to put, let's see, so 8 times 3 is 24, so I can do it in thirds. So we want to do, well, we have blocks of 8 stitches, so we're going to do a 7, a purl, that's 8, 7, a purl, and that's 8, and then let's see, that would only make it 8 stitches. That would be totally off, so we couldn't really do it that way. We could do, let's see, okay, before we can do this pattern that I'm thinking of, which is basically like a tic-tac-toe if you think about it. It's kind of like this. This is my pattern I kind of want to get to. But I want to start with just this basic bottom here. And so I want to do this pattern using our 24 stitches. And how am I going to do that? So I basically have decided, okay, do I want a 4 start that, or do I want a 3? Can I do that with 24 stitches? And I figured that I couldn't do it with 24 stitches because I have 3 here. Oh, excuse me. I'm running it backwards. And I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Those would be my purl stitches. And in between the purl stitches, I want to create a knit. So these are going to be my knit stitches. Okay. And down here, it's if I was to do 3 sets of knit and only using 2 purl to create this tic-tac kind of pattern, tic-tac-toe kind of pattern, excuse me. So with the 24 stitches, I have 3 that I would subtract from that, and I would get 21. Now with 4 4 does not go into 21 evenly, so that is not possible to do it that way. Nor can I do it using just taking the 2 out for these 2 purl stitches. That would leave me with 22, and 3 does not go into 22 evenly. So we know that we cannot do it with 24 stitches. We can try 25. 25 minus the 3, and I don't think this is going to work either. So if you look at it, it brings it down to 22 as well, which we know we can't do it by 4. And even doing it with just the 2 purls out first, that leaves me with 23, and 3 does not go into 23. So that we cannot do. So let's add another stitch. So let's try it with 26. 26, let's start with the 2. That would make 24. And then the 3 will go in. 3 can go into 24. So we can do it this way. Can we do it using the 4 knits in a row? Let's see. 26 with 3 would make it 23. And doing 4 does not go into 23. But we can do it using this right here. Our 3 knits and our 2 purls. So that's the pattern that we're going to use, this pattern. And then the next row, we're going to have a complete row of purl. And then we'll begin the process all over again. So let's go ahead and start using this pattern, and you'll see how it's going to come across. I just wanted to kind of show you how the process works when you're trying to figure out a pattern. Now you can go and you can buy a pattern. You can buy one online. You can buy one using the yarn. Sometimes they have patterns on the schemes. But if you're not used to reading a pattern, sometimes it can be difficult to read it. But we're only using 2 specific, the knit stitch and the purl stitch. So this should be pretty basic, pretty simple. And this is how you would create a pattern. Using the stitches that you know, you need 24 stitches to create at least a 6-inch wide band. Okay. Now, using our pattern that we have decided we're going to do, we're going to start with our first set of knit. So we're going to knit, the first set is going to be the 8 stitches that we need. Then it's going to be, you're going to purl, 8 stitches, purl, and then 8 stitches of knit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it, knit your first 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to purl 1. Then we're going to knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Purl 1. And we should have 8 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How is that possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Because we did it wrong. We did not allot for that, did we? I thought it was going to be like, let's just take it all off, because that definitely did not work. And I took the 2 stitches off. That's 2. Minus that is 24, and 3 into 24 is 8. It should have worked out. I'm not sure why it didn't. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I have 24 stitches. Oh, that's why it didn't work out. Oh, let me stop this. Using our pattern that we have created, I'm going to use what we have. We have the 24 stitches, and now I'm going to go to 26 because we need those 2 extra stitches. So in doing so, I'm going to stick my needle through the first hoop, and I'm going to cast on 2 more stitches because we need 2 more. 1, 2, and then I'm just going to slide my knitting needle right off, and there we go. Now we have 26 stitches. Now we can complete the set pattern, which is we're going to do knit, purl 1, knit, purl 1, knit, and we're going to do segments of 8. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we have our 8 here. And we're going to purl 1. And then we're going to knit 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Purl again. And then 8 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that was our set row. So that's how the pattern is going to start. Now when you turn it around, it's going to be the opposite. You're going to see 8 purl stitches, 1 knit, and then 8 purl stitches, a knit, and 8 purl stitches. And we're just going to repeat what we see. Okay, so this will be the back of the scarf. So again, we're going to go to opposite, and we're going to purl those 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we will knit that 1 stitch. Purl 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knit a stitch. Okay, and then we will do the last 8 purls and turn our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And turn the work. There you go. There you go. Now as we move up, you will see the pattern. And I'm going to do this. It's going to take, 6 rows to do an inch. So that's what we want to do. And this was 2 rows. We just did the front and the back. So that's 2 rows. So 2, 4, 6. And then I will see you back after we complete 6 rows. All right, I'm back. And I have completed my 6 rows of knit, purl, and knit. Now this is the front side and this is our back side. Now you can see the pattern more on the back than you can on the front. You see these little sticks? That's what we have created. We have created that 3 knits, 3 knits, and those 2 pearls. So now what we want to do, that we've completed those 6 rows, we are going to purl the next row. So we're going to, put the yarn in the front. And we're going to purl this row and the next one. So we're going to purl for 2 rows. All of it. Even those purl stitches are going to be purled. Well, I guess we're going to purl all of them. So purl straight across. And then on the back, you'll see it's going to be all knit. We want to keep with the pattern that we're making. So we have knitted. See, on the back side, it looks like a knit. So we're going to stay with that. We're going to knit the back side. So let's knit the whole back side. Okay. And that completes our little segment to make that tic-tac-toe pattern. See that right there? That's all pearls and that's all pearls. See that? Now we'll begin again with our knit, purl, knit. Knit 8 stitches. Okay, that was 3, 6, 7, 8. Purl 1, knit. We're going to repeat our pattern of what we just did. So that's knit, purl, okay? So knit 8 stitches. Purl and knit 8 all the way to the end. Repeating that on the back. We are going to see we have our purl, knit now. Knit, purl for 8, knit and purl for 8 to the end. Okay. And then I will see you guys back here once we have another. This is 2, so we have to put 4 more rows together to create that inch. Okay. And you can see our pattern is forming here. All right, here we are with our 6 rows. And we're going to create that purl on this row. So we're going to purl all the way across again. Just repeating what we did. We are creating that pattern using just 2 stitches, okay, the purl and the knit. And you can create so many different patterns with that. So play around with those stitches, using the 24 stitches or using the 26, which is what we had to do to make this pattern. You want it to be at least 6 inches wide when you're doing it. So do remember that. Please don't cut down on stitches. Just make sure you use the 24 stitches and then a couple more. If you go another 2 more stitches, you're going to have another inch. So just remind yourself of how wide you're going to be making this, okay? So you need at least 6 inches wide. And on this side, it looks like we knit, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to knit. And that creates that puff pattern, doing the opposite of the knit and the purl. You can just create so many patterns. And then we're going to take a look at this. And let's see what we've got as far as like a tic-tac-toe pattern. It just depends on how technical and detailed you really want it to be. But this, is good for a beginner pattern. To start your beginning pattern, especially on a scarf, because you're going to be repeating this pattern over and over and over again until you get the length that you want, which is about 60 inches. So look at that. Now remember, our hat was just those 2 stitches, the knit and the purl. And we're going to be putting a fringe on here on the bottom. And the sides are going to be the same like they are here, not changing anything. And I really like the fact that you can have it either way. It looks really nice. The purl stitches in the back, that looks really nice like it is. It does give you that tic-tac-toe kind of pattern, which is what we wanted. And if we do 1 more row, you'll have your little tic-tac-toe design. So we're just going to complete this whole process. Repeat until you have 60 inches. And then once you have your 60 inches, we will be back. Okay, I'm back. I have finished my 60 inches of scarf. And as you can see, it's very long. It goes for a little bit. And I've already measured it. I've taken my tape. And what I've done is I have just laid it across the beginning of my knitting. And without pulling it, don't pull it, just let it lay flat. And I have just gone across here, holding it down, straightening it out a little bit, and just kind of go with the tape. And like I said, I'm not pulling, I'm just going along with the material, with the yarn that I've done. And as you can see, we have measured up to 60 inches. So I have 60 inches here, but I also wanted to complete my pattern, the same thing with the bottom. So the bottom should look exactly like the top. So what I've done is I've created this extra extension right here to make it look exactly like the bottom when we first started. So if I look at my bottom, there's my bottom here. Here's my bottom. It doesn't have any purl on there. So I want to end with no purl. Okay. So once that's completed, I'm going to go ahead and do my bind off. And binding off, just a normal bind off. This is a knit bind off, so you're just going to go in the same direction that your knitting style is. So whatever pattern you've chosen, if it's a knit, you're going to bind off knit. If it's a purl, you're going to bind off purlwise. It just depends on what pattern that you have created. So here we have a knit, so I'm going to do a knit bind off. Okay, another knit bind off. Another knit bind off. There we go. And then, so we have those 8 stitches of regular knit to bind off. And here is our bind off. Right there. There's our bind off. Now this one is a purl, so now we'll have to purl. I'm going to purl it, and then I'm going to bind it off. Just like that. And then the next one will be knit. And that's how you do those. Whatever stitch it is, that's what you're going to bind off. Either in a knit or in a purl. So we should have 8 knitted stitches to bind off again. And then we'll come to another purl stitch. That's if you're following my pattern, okay? And I'm sure you guys have created, you know, your own little designs. So that'll be nice to see other people's designs and see what they've created with just using 2 stitches. It's really amazing that you can create a lot of different textures and come up with your own unique style. And if you're doing this for yourself, great. I mean, you want it your way, your style, your color. I mean, it's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm down to my last one. And here I am just going to go through my hand, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Where did I stick my scissors here? I put them down here somewhere. Did I not bring my scissors? I know I did. I'm back. I found my scissors. So I'm just going to give me a little bit of space, about 2 inches, and I'm just going to cut that off. Let's cut that off. And then remove your knitting needle. Remove that. Okay, and then we're just going to pull the end through your last loop, just like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could weave this end in if you wanted to and get rid of it. I'd prefer just to go ahead and leave it because I'm going to create a 2-inch, 2-inch, just a 2-inch yarn waterfall, basically. So I'm going to call it a waterfall, where I will attach these little fringes on the bottom, little waterfall fringe here. I kind of like that old style with the little fringe on it. It makes it look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, using the rest of my yarn, grab my yarn, and I'll create these little fringes. And so I'm just going to grab the yarn, put it in my hand, just like that. And I'm just going to wrap it around my hand. Just go in and out like that. Okay. And now that I've got some on there, I'm going to pull it off of my hand just like this. Take my scissors, and I'm just going to go in through the hole, cut it off. And I have created my little fringes. So unravel that, and there's my little fringe. Now, depending on how thick you like it, I'm just going to take 3, but you can take more. It's totally up to you how thick you like it on the bottom. And what this is going to do is this is going to be attached to this, and that'll be on your ends. And then you can cut it however short or long you want it to be. So I definitely want to put it, what does it say? I'm putting it through the bar, which is the bind off we just did. So I'm putting it through the bind off. I am wrapping it around that bind off, just holding it there, and I'm going to take my, hold it there really tightly. I'm just going to take my bind off and pull it through if I can. Until I get my 3. Okay, I'm going to kind of get it to the same length there. And then I'm just going to pull it through. Just like that. All 3 loops. I'm going to pull it tight. Just like that. And then I have my little fringe. And I'm going to go, you can't go wrong on this. You don't have to go through every hoop, but just, you know, just go through the bind off. And I'm going to take another 3 pieces, find the middle. And I'm just going to go right on over. Wow, that didn't really want to go, did it? Maybe if I hold it in this hand, so it's tighter. So when I have to pull it, yeah, that worked better. However, you got to put it through there to get it in there. Just make sure your strings are the same length before you pull them through. that. Make sure you don't get the other side connected. Nice little tug. See that? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And if you want it thicker, you can do 4, you could do 5 at a time. It's totally up to you. I did 3. That's 3. And if you want to look at it going down, that's what that looks like. And you can, let's see, we'll go back through and we'll trim. I'll trim these up to like the shortest one I've got here. And we'll just trim those up, I think. And it's totally up to you how long you want yours to be. So after I get done putting all my fringes in, I'll show you what the end product looks like. Okay, I'm back. Now I've got all my fringes on one side. I just did the one side of it just to show you what it kind of looks like here. It's kind of all icky, but we can all straighten that out. But I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 of those fringes on here that we've made. And all I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm just going to kind of give it a little haircut. So I'm just going to cut off these little straggly pieces just to even it up. And I'm just eyeballing it. You can cut it as short as you want. It's totally up to you and what you like. But I want my pieces to be kind of similar here. Just like giving a little haircut. So we're just going to cut those fringes to be of the same, kind of the same length here. There you go. I mean, that's just so cute. It just really is very cute. And if you're going to wash this, you know, just be very delicate with it. Just put it in the wash and put it on delicate. Put it in a baggie and then wash it. But yeah. Now we're just going to do the same to the other end, and then you'll have yourself a to-go scarf pretty much. And you've started your own little pattern. So that's really nice. And when I get the other side done, I'm going to put it on and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here is our lovely little scarf. We have all the way down to the ends. And you can just put it around you naturally, normally, swinging it over. Here goes your scarf. Here is your neck. You can cover up your face with it if you like. You can double it up if you like to. And that's just by shortening this up a little bit. Go around once. Just like that. Keep your neck warm. And you can go ahead and tie these ends here if you just kind of flip them through. If you like. However you want it to look pretty. That's totally up to you. But however you want to do it, just make sure you stay warm. And that's the whole purpose of making the scarf and your hat. And if you'd like to see the hat, you can go on to one of my other videos and I'll show you how to make the hat for the scarf. But I hope you guys liked enjoying making the scarf using those 2 stitches. And thanks for watching and love you guys.